Our next presenters are from Argonaut Manufacturing Services. They are Steve Folio, Vice President of Quality and Regulatory Affairs, and Chris Duffy, Senior Vice President and General Manager of Drug Product. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey, Perry. Good to be with you this morning. I've got Steve here over my shoulder like any good manufacturing professional. I've got my quality regulatory guy right there.
Yeah, thanks for the intro, Perry. Much appreciated.
All right, we've got a poll here that we'll start the presentation with. Thank you for answering that. So again, this is Chris Duffy and Steve Folio. I head up the drug product manufacturing services here at Argonaut Manufacturing. Steve and I have worked together for, 15 plus years, various capacities at different CMOs. Steve, you want to say something about that?
Yeah, so decades of experience in the contract manufacturing space for drug product and drug substance and combination products as well. It's been a pleasure working with Chris all of these years, and we've had a lot of success together.
The rest of our leadership team is headed by Wayne Woodard. He's our founder and CEO of the company. Comes to us from Thermo Fisher, where he was head of global supply chain. Prior to that, he was with AFI, Ion Torrent. He started the business with a diagnostics manufacturing. We bolted on drug product manufacturing when he hired me about 7 years ago now, and then we went out and purchased our first fill line that we'll talk about here in a moment. Gail is our CFO, comes to us from the medical device industry. John's been in CMO business for a long time with Emergent and Vetter. And the three of us, Steve and Stacy and myself, we have worked together at other CMOs in the area here in San Diego for many, many years. So a very experienced team. A little bit more about us. We were founded in 2016. We're privately owned. We've got about 130 personnel on site. We've got 4 manufacturing facilities totaling about 110,000 square feet. A warehouse facility, a headquarters for our diagnostics business, a brand new drug product facility that I'll talk about here in a minute. We're really excited about bringing on new capabilities and capacity there. All facilities are located here in the Carlsbad area. We're about a 30-minute drive from downtown San Diego, traffic willing, 30 to 40 minutes. Again, we've got 2 business units, a business unit for drug product manufacturing and another for diagnostics and life sciences industry. And we've got electronic EQMS system is Master Control and Blue Mountain RAM. So some good systems there for supporting the company's manufacturing processes. And I'll let Steve take this one.
Yeah, so we've really built our systems around global compliance. So no big hurdles for us to jump to go into other markets globally. So we have clinical trials currently ongoing in all regions of the world. We are ISO 13485 certified, and then we also operate under 210, 211, Urtilex Volume 4, Annex 1 compliant as well, and also 820. So we're well suited to do not only sterile injectable manufacturing, but device manufacturing, diagnostics manufacturing, and also combination products. We are licensed by the California Department of Public Health. We are an FDA inspected and licensed facility. We've done a lot of work with a lot of different organizations in the government, including BARDA, Health and Human Services, Project Warp Speed, and things like that. And we've got a full suite of laboratory equipment to run the majority of the USP required analysis. Next slide. Got it. All right, so some of the compounds we manufacture, so about 60% in large molecule and biologics, MADs, proteins, and plasmids. We also get a lot of business in the oligo space, especially doing ASOs, guide RNAs, siRNAs. We do some protein-based vaccines, so no live products here, but we do have very good experience with sterile manufacturing and doing sterile formulations. especially in the adjuvanted vaccine space, using our isolator. And then our clients range from small virtual companies, a guy or a lady with a molecule and an idea, all the way to top 10 pharma space. And then the regulatory side, we've got all phases of manufacturing going on here. Clinical phase 1, tox studies, some non-GMP work in the sterile injectable space, as well as running some PPQ campaigns at our site.
Great. Thanks, Steve. Just to talk a little bit more about our flexibility, we pride ourselves in how flexible we are and how quick we are and nimble. This is a case study of a rare disease therapeutic that was being developed by one of our customers. They needed a quick turnaround on a fill. They came to us. We were able to get the contract to fill, the project done in about 2 months' time, all the way to release. We were able to leverage some surrogate material for some of the analytical qualification. So a number of our customers come to us with really small batches. We've got a very high yielding process. So we had to work out a strategy with this customer to get bioburden qualification done without and still be able to produce the number of vials they needed in the clinic for this particular patient. We were able to get bulk accountability at 90%. So through sterile filtration, 90% yield. And then through drug product manufacturing, 110% of what we expected. So a really good high yielding process for this particular case study. Another example, we had a customer come to us in a real urgent need to get a fill onshore that was supposed to be an offshore activity. They came to us in an emergency, and we were able, again, to turn them around in about 6 weeks' time from contract to release of the product. So we do get a fair number of customers coming to us with emergency filling operations that we're able to handle pretty quickly. Again, with high yields, 122% of what they had expected from another a batch run at a different CMO, and a quick release on that product as well. A bit more about our gear. Our fill line is a VarioSys line. That's a combination of Bosch and Strobel filling equipment and scan isolator technology. We're using the ready to use pre-sterilized nested components. So this is vial filling only. We've got the machine set up for vials in the 2R to 20R ISO standard sizes. We use single-use technologies throughout, all the way from mixing through to the needle. Every product contacting surface is thrown away at the end of the fill, and we start with fresh material at the start of the next one. So that minimizes the risk to the patient and the products. So some of the features of the line, we've got the way we designed it was to minimize the tubing lengths to get that high yielding process that we really wanted. So many of our customers in the past came to us with very small volume drug substances and needed to get every vial out of the batch. Very common theme among some of our smaller customers, where there's just the one batch they need to get to the clinic, and that's all there is of that material in the world. So we've got 100% non-destructive weight checking, so we're looking at the volume delivered to every single vial. We're using the best of the glass from SCHOTT top line components, and we also customize the machine to have the crimp sealing removed from the cabinet where the filling and stop ringing happen. So down below you can see the depiction of a picture of our equipment. On the far left side, we've got a debagging station where the tubs are introduced to the machine. It then transfers into the first isolator. We've got the white robotic arms. You see a picture on the right-hand side. The first robot removes the seal from the tub, places the nest in a position for the second robot to denest the vials, wherein the next where they're then conveyed into the next isolator where they're filled and stoppered. Again, filling on load cells, so we're able to check the volume delivered. If a low volume is detected, the needle rotates over and fills to the target weight, so we don't get any low volume rejects. And then stoppered and sealed in that final chamber, again, remote from the filling and stoppering, where the crimp sealing can be a particle generating activity, so we wanted to remove that from the filling and stoppering cabinet. So for formulation capabilities, we run, again, really small batches sometimes, down all the way to 200 ml. On the drug substance side, up to 200 liters. Single-use mixing technologies from Paul and Millpore. Sterile filtration, we've got most of the standard PES and PVDF membranes qualified. We can do batch or continuous filtration. So some of the smaller drug substances, as you can imagine, would need to go through a batch process rather than continuous. We're filling the ISO standard 2R to 20R. That's what we currently have in our media fill bracket. Run rates are up to 2,000 units per hour, so we can get batch sizes down to a few hundred vials and up to about 20,000 vials, all on the same single head instrument. We've got a nitrogen gas overlay if required for oxygen sensitive products, 100% non-destructive weight checks we've talked about, and no loss at the startup and end of fill as well. So we've got a couple of other features that allow us to get the maximum yield out of these drug substance batches. Now moving on to our second fill line, this is one that we've been planning for a couple of years now. It's just about ready for factory acceptance testing in January. We'll be traveling out to Germany. This is an Optima line. It's a 4-head filler. It's their multi-use line. It fills vials, syringes, and cartridges. It's all protected by isolators as well. The in-feed is for ready-to-use components. Again, it'll be a single-use fluid path. No glass-to-glass contact, so it takes advantage of Optima's rake technology for moving the vials from station to station without contact. Clinical and commercial production on this line as well. 100% weight checking. And we'll have this, let's see if my next slide describes it. We'll have that line available by the end of this coming year in 2025. So for syringes, we'll be filling the 1 ml long to 2.25s. The capacity is about 7,000 units per hour, giving us batch sizes up to 70,000 units per batch. In the vials, we're running 2R to 50R, and you can see the run rates there give us batch sizes all the way up to about 90,000 units per batch. Again, it's a 4-head version of basically the line we're running now, so roughly 4 times the capacity. And then on the cartridges, we'll be running the 3 ml standard cartridge. I won't go through the Gantt chart for you here, but just suffice it to say that we get the line is ready for testing here the first of the year. We'll receive the line in March, April timeframe. In parallel, we're constructing a brand new standalone facility for this. That activity has just started. So we'll get the line, have it installed, and then spend the rest of 2025 getting it qualified. By the end of the year, we'll have it up and running for GMP use. And this is just a comparison of the two fill lines, line 1 versus line 2. Again, line 1 is, we've got capacity available now. We're running it at about 45% capacity utilization currently. And line 2, we've got 100% available capacity starting, we'll be selling that starting about the middle of next year. QC services, we've got a full suite of services available here. Anything we can't do in-house, we've got relationships with our ecosystem partners to handle some of that. doing our own bioburden endotoxin in-house. We outsource sterility, do a lot of stability work as well. Most of the compendial work we do ourselves, and some of the product specific as well. And then we've got pick, pack, and ship services. So we've got a lot of experience in global logistics, sort of from the diagnostic side of our business. We've got a lot of experience with distribution of products around the world, and we can handle storage for you as well. So why choose Argonaut? We've got a lot of experience in this industry. Many of us have worked together for a long time. We've got scale. We're scaling up from the single head filler to the 4-head filler coming online next year. We pride ourselves in our flexibility. We're able to nimbly move a customer through from contract to release of product within a few weeks. Might be a bit quicker than most of our larger competitors in the field. And we're focused on drug product manufacturing. We don't have any products of our own. We're just focused on DP work and producing safe and effective drugs. And I think with that, I will close. And back to you, Perry.
Thank you, gentlemen. And you can't hear it, but you're receiving applause from the audience for Steve being included in this.
Right
and just
there.
to remind everybody, Steve's the head of quality and regulatory affairs. So there's much appreciation for that. So my understanding of this might be a little bit dated. This is my question. But for combination products, when growth of combination products really got underway, it was a big challenge because the FDA had two pathways to regulatory approval. You had medical device and drug. So this is probably for Steve. Has that gotten any better? And what kind of support do you offer folks for combination products like that?
Yeah, it's still a bit ambiguous. So you basically take your drug to the Office of Combination Products, and then they decide whether it's going to be drug-led or device-led. And that chooses your regulatory pathway for you. So they tell you what kind of path to walk down. And from our side of the business, we've got experience in providing regulatory support for both those avenues.
Okay, so you have a more consultative approach for your clients, with your clients for combination products then?
Yeah, very true. We do partner with our customers to make sure that they're getting through the regulatory pathway, and we're getting them all the information that they need.
Yeah. We have some really specific questions about line 1 and line 2. I don't know if it's helpful to go back to that slide that you had, but it starts off with line 1. Is line 1 only for vials? Or
Line
is
1
it
is
also
only.
pre-filled? Okay, go ahead.
That's
go
right.
ahead.
That's right, Perry. Line 1 is only for vials. Line 2 is a multi-use, what Optima calls their multi-use line. So it's vials, syringes, and cartridges.
Okay, I think that will answer our audience members' questions regarding the difference in what your capabilities are there. Okay, I think that, but if it doesn't, maybe you can perhaps follow up with him afterwards.
You bet.
And can you talk a little bit about the regulatory path for rare disease?
So we have a public partnership with a nonprofit organization that does nano rare disease products. So they've authored some specific guidance around antisense oligos and getting those to patients and getting them in their own individual clinical trial. So there's a lot of new pathways that are being founded by these rare disease companies that are going after single patient indications. So we've filled over a dozen of those products on our filling line in that small volume range that Chris was talking about earlier. And it's pretty special when you're creating a product that's associated with the patient name.
Yeah, it's rewarding work, that's for sure.
It really is so important. So happy to hear that you're working with those companies. Thank you, gentlemen. Great presentation. Love the inclusion of quality and operations. That's awesome. Steve Folio and Chris Duffy from Argonaut Manufacturing Services. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Perry.
Thanks, Barry.
Have a good weekend.